Hello! Welcome to All Ease Accounting on YouTube. I'm Reagan Bashara, I'm the numbers witch, and I'm that QuickBooks bitch. This is where I come to chat with you about my entrepreneurial journey. I also do QuickBooks Online tutorials, sometimes just sit here and tell you about my life or like what it's like to be a business owner. And today is going to be a little bit of a mix of that. Also, I did my nails and they look awesome. It is officially the first full day of fall today. With that being said, by the time this video comes out, it will be Q4 of 2024. And while I do have an offer that is specific to Q4 and is exclusively offered during Q4 each year, you won't hear about it on YouTube. You'll have to get on my email list to find out about that, which is free. I send out a weekly newsletter to my email list telling them all of the ways that they can get free and paid support from me for their small business or self-employed bookkeeping, especially if they're using QuickBooks Online. Though my email newsletter is free, and I don't know any good reason why you wouldn't get on the newsletter. So check the link in the description, or you can just go to alleaseaccounting.com and sign up for my email list. Today's video is once again being sponsored by the Bookkeeping Foundation Kit, which is my answer to the folks that want to do their own bookkeeping for whatever reason and don't know where to start, don't know how to do bookkeeping. Whether or not they have a business degree or an accounting degree doesn't always translate to knowing how to do data entry, reconciliation, and financial reporting. I promise you that I have worked with people that have MBAs and who have accounting and finance degrees that don't know how to do self-employed bookkeeping or small business bookkeeping. And that is like totally normal. It's nothing to be ashamed of that these folks come to me with this background in business and in finance. But the practical steps of doing bookkeeping, especially using QuickBooks Online, is hard for them to find by just gathering information on Google, on YouTube, on the internet, and they cannot find succinct answers or a method to doing the bookkeeping, which is why I created the Bookkeeping Foundation Kit, because it literally is the foundations of doing bookkeeping for self-employed folks, sole proprietors, single member LLCs, even S corporations and partnerships, any sort of business entity that is still a small business, meaning there's probably not a lot of employees, if any. The business probably makes less than $1 million in gross revenue every year. It's usually a business that the books can be managed by the person who owns the business, and it's not necessary to contract out a bookkeeper, a third-party bookkeeper or accountant. And I created the Bookkeeping Foundation Kit for these folks specifically. Today, I'm going to go over the reasons why people are hesitant to start their bookkeeping, to learn how to do it themselves, to hire somebody to teach them how to do it, and why the Bookkeeping Foundation Kit is the solution for self-employed folks and small business owners. There are 9 reasons that I'm going to go over, but if you are scared of doing your own books, or you have some reason that you haven't bought the Bookkeeping Foundation Kit, or you haven't hired somebody to teach you how to do bookkeeping in QuickBooks Online. If your reason for not doing that is not covered in the 9 reasons that I'm going to give you in this video, I want you to leave me a comment down below and let me know why you haven't purchased the Bookkeeping Foundation Kit or hired somebody to help you learn how to do your bookkeeping. So the first reason is the fear of finding mistakes. Now, let's talk about this, because fear is quite often the emotion and the feeling that holds us back from doing anything in our lives. And it is totally normal and natural to feel fear. It's an evolutionary positive thing. It is something that helped protect us in our little lizard caveman days. Because we're evolved, because we have a prefrontal cortex and we can think for ourselves, you shouldn't allow fear to hold you back from learning something new, from developing a skill. And I will say also that bookkeeping does take time to learn how to do. It does take patience, just like learning any new skill. But you, my friend, have done hard things in the past. You have learned skills in the past and become really great at them or even the expert in something. And you don't need to become the expert in bookkeeping unless you want to in order to do the books for your own business. But it is a simple method that I use and that I teach you in the Bookkeeping Foundation Kit. But what winds up happening, we uncover mistakes, or we uncover things that are uncomfortable for us to face, like the way that we spend money, or how much money we are actually making in our business and how that might not be enough. And the fear of finding those things out is greater than the discomfort that you would experience when you did find those things out, if that makes sense. Fear is the part that you just get through, and then you start doing your bookkeeping, and you may have some realizations about yourself as a person, as a business owner, how you make and spend money, how much money you are or are not making or spending. You might find some things out, and that might be uncomfortable for you to face. But what I'm telling you is that your fear of uncovering those things, those mistakes, those habits of yours, that fear is worse than the discomfort that you would experience when you find things out about yourself and your business. And that's why we're not going to let fear hold us back anymore, because there is nothing to be embarrassed about. I often have people telling me that, oh, whenever you get into my QuickBooks, you're going to be like, oh my gosh, this is the worst I've ever seen. And I have yet to come across the business that is like the worst that I've ever seen. Every set of books that I've met is not something that I can't take care of and handle and clean up and help the business owner get under control. So I want you to know that fear is normal and it's to be expected, but that we shouldn't allow that to hold us back. The second reason that you probably haven't started your bookkeeping or learned how to do it is that you think it's going to cost a lot of money for you to do the books. And maybe you're at a point in your business where you haven't actually made that much revenue so far. And so you think that cost is a prohibitive factor to getting your finances under control. And let me just tell you that no matter how much money you end up making, you need a set of bookkeeping. You need a system for bookkeeping for every dollar that you make. And that starts at $0. So there are always costs associated with doing business, with being self-employed, and you do get to take most of those costs as a tax deduction. It is going to require you to invest a little bit of time or money up front. That is why I also created the Bookkeeping Foundation Kit, to be a low-cost, accessible option. I want my startups and my self-employed folks to not have cost be a prohibitive factor to them getting their books right and being able to have financial reports with data that they can read and understand and use to make good business decisions. So that's why I priced the Bookkeeping Foundation Kit at $77. As you go on to make more money, you may want to schedule a training. You may actually want to hire a third-party bookkeeper. But right now, what you need to do is have a bookkeeping system that you can keep up with yourself before you can afford those things. And that is why the Bookkeeping Foundation Kit is only $77. The third reason that people don't get started on their bookkeeping or don't take the time to learn how to do it is because they think it takes a lot of time to do. They think that there is a huge time commitment involved. They think about how when they were in college or university or even like high school, how much time it took to study and learn a new concept. And that may be the case, but that is why I distilled down my bookkeeping method into a simple 3-step process so that it doesn't take a lot of time for you to learn how to do. And I don't want you to spend more than 15 minutes a week doing your bookkeeping, even after you've got that system down for your business. The Bookkeeping Foundation Kit is a series of videos that are actually not that long. I think all of them are less than 20 minutes long. And there's 3 parts. And there is a PDF workbook to walk you through setting up your QuickBooks Online for your business. I think that most people could accomplish doing the Bookkeeping Foundation Kit, going through those lessons and the guide in a weekend. I understand that everybody is time poor, that we all have so many things demanding our attention and our resources and our time. And that makes a lot of sense. And that is especially true for self-employed folks. And it is especially true if you have a partner and you have children, or you've got family obligations, or you have a full-time job and so you have work obligations. So I condensed the material that I I teach you inside the kit down to where it's quick lessons and we're taking baby steps to learn the material and to apply it to our own set of bookkeeping. If the time commitment factor is something that has made you stop and say, I don't even know when I'd have time to do that, a couple of hours is what you need. And you can do this over a series of weeks or do it over a weekend. Like, it's not that you have to do this thing on this week and then you don't get the materials until the following week. You get all of the content inside the kit as soon as you purchase. The fourth reason that people shy away from doing their bookkeeping is that they are not tech savvy, or they don't think of themselves as tech savvy, or it's intimidating to try to learn a new software like QuickBooks Online. And I totally understand this. I am a tech savvy person. Like, I'm married to a computer programmer. My mom is a computer programmer. Like, I've always grown up around technology and computers, but I don't like to talk above anybody's head, whether it's about finances or money or technology. The reason that I did the kit the way I did was to create step-by-step videos where I'm actually showing you where to go. I'm showing you how things are laid out in QuickBooks Online. And yes, it is a new software that you have to learn. And no, I don't really think the app is very user-friendly. But the first thing that we do in QuickBooks Online is take control back of your menu inside there. That is the first part of the kit. I show you which areas of the playground you're actually going to be playing with, and then how to hide the rest of it so that you reduce the amount of visual clutter that you're seeing and having to process every time you log in. So even if you don't feel that you're very tech savvy, I want you to know that I do work with folks of all ages, of all genders, and of all tech experience levels. I think that everybody is capable of learning how to use QuickBooks Online and learning how to do their own books. So if I can believe in you, then I want you to take that and at least a little bit believe in yourself that you are capable of doing this. You're capable of learning this skill. If you know how to use a computer to log into Facebook or to check your email, then you can also use QuickBooks Online. I will teach you how to do that inside the kit. Now let's talk about the fifth reason that people don't like to learn how to do bookkeeping or do it on a consistent basis. And that is that they actually may not understand the importance of having robust financial reports. I'm talking about your profit and loss. I'm talking about your balance sheet and your statement of cash flows, which I did do a video on the financial reports that I want you to be reading and how often I want you to be reading them. People think that that is the next level up in accounting. And yeah, reading financial reports and like analyzing them may be the next level up from doing your bookkeeping. I think it's actually super important that you have access to those reports and that they're accurate and that you know how to analyze them. Doing the bookkeeping just isn't enough, which is why I say that it also has to include looking at your financial reports. And a lot of small business owners, a lot of self-employed folks, and people that not even people that own businesses, people that have, 9-to-5 jobs, just go through life paying their bills, looking at their bank balance every day to see whether or not they can DoorDash dinner. That is something that can keep you afloat for an amount of time. But when you're self-employed, when you own a business, especially if you have employees who rely on your business for their income, it is so important that we don't just pay bills on time and manage our bank balance. It is very important that we actually look at our financial data, make and set goals for our business, have strategy that we implement. Doesn't have to be anything crazy. We're not talking about, suits in a boardroom and the C-suite. We're talking about the mom and pop businesses like mine. I am self-employed. I run a virtual bookkeeping firm. I can still see the importance of looking at your financial reports from the bookkeeping that you've been doing, rather than just hopefully paying your bills on time, maybe making a plan to pay off a credit card. No, I want you to have the capacity to take your financial acumen further in your business. It's not enough to just pay your bills and to keep your business afloat. The sixth reason that people avoid doing their bookkeeping, or really, this is the reason, procrastinate, is because they think that it's overwhelming. They think that their business is special and unique and therefore complicated. And I'm so sorry to say this, Yes, you are unique, and every business is a snowflake and looks different from the business next to it. But when it comes to the bookkeeping, what I want you to take home, if nothing else, is the idea that bookkeeping is simple across small businesses. It is the same formula. It is the same kind of setup. And that is what I put into the Bookkeeping Foundation Kit, was distilling the hundreds of businesses that I've not only set up books for, but have taught them how to do their bookkeeping and kept their books for them. I put that into the kit because it is the same kind of formulaic setup for QuickBooks Online, for a bookkeeping system. Yes, you are unique. Yes, the way your business runs is unique because you created it, and everybody's brain is different. However, when it comes to the bookkeeping, we can really simplify things using the best practices for QuickBooks Online, working with your brain instead of against it. Maybe that will help you not procrastinate so much on the bookkeeping. Maybe that will allow you to see that, well, if she says it's simple, then let's see. Let's try it out, right? Prove me wrong that your bookkeeping cannot be simple, and get the Bookkeeping Foundation Kit. And I promise that we will work on that together to get it as streamlined as possible. Because when you have a system that is streamlined and up to date already, you're way less likely to procrastinate. And procrastination is like a self-fulfilling prophecy. The more you procrastinate with bookkeeping, the more work needs to be done to get it caught up. If we had a bookkeeping system that was simple for your business, you wouldn't avoid it as much. It wouldn't be as overwhelming. You wouldn't procrastinate. When you don't procrastinate on something, it's easier to keep up with it. So it's like this circular kind of logic thing, but that is the sixth reason procrastinate, because they believe that it's going to be overwhelming and complicated, and it's really 99.9% of the time not complicated. The seventh reason that people procrastinate, avoid, don't do their bookkeeping, don't learn how to do it, is because they have poor experiences with accountants. I'm an accountant, and I've been one for 10 years. I know how crappy some people can be, how judgmental they can be, elusive and evasive they can be, and unhelpful they can be. I understand. And I'm not here trying to white knight the accounting industry either. I'm not here to say, oh, I'm going to change the accounting industry, blah, blah, blah. No, that's not what I'm doing. But knowing what I know about how some accountants operate, what I did for you inside the kit, the Bookkeeping Foundation Kit, is to make it so that your bookkeeping is a simple system that you can keep up with. So no matter what accountant you work with, your books are going to be as accurate as possible, and they're probably not going to have as many questions about your business books as they have in the past whenever you gave them a shoebox of receipts or a stack of your bank statements that you didn't reconcile. Hate that people have bad experiences with accountants. That's not my responsibility. I'm not going to take responsibility. I'm not going to apologize on behalf of the fucking industry. Not going to do that. If your experience with an accountant or even with QuickBooks Online has been unpleasant and you have not been able to find help, and that has exacerbated the state of your books not being done or being done incorrectly, then I want you to give the Bookkeeping Foundation Kit a shot. I want you to try that and make it work. The kit is set up in the formulaic way that will work for your business, even if the books that you've already done are in a hot mess state. It will work for you to take control back of your books so that tax season isn't the headache that it has been in the past. At the very least, if you have to continue working with the tax preparer that you have now, your books will be much simpler and more correct and less of a headache for you to deal with, for you both to deal with, you and your tax preparer. The eighth reason is that they think that the approach that they're taking right now for their books is working for them well enough. Okay, that may be the case. You may feel that how you're doing things now is what works. Maybe it's imperfect. It would be a struggle to figure it out, get things cleaned up. What's working for you right now works, and you might as well just stick with it. And like a broken clock is right twice a day. You're just like, I don't have time for that. I'm just going to do things the way I've been doing them. I'm not here to tell you that you should do anything differently, but I'd like for you to know that you do have the option to make small baby step changes in your bookkeeping process that can have big results on the accuracy of your books and how simple they can be when you apply my bookkeeping process, when you learn the foundations of bookkeeping from me. I want to offer you that it may not take as long as you think to correct the mistakes that are in your books now, and for you to make small adjustments to your habits and routines with the bookkeeping now. You can make those small adjustments that are going to have big, impactful results on the way your data is organized and the way that your time is spent when you're doing the bookkeeping. Your approach may seem like it's working for you now, and I want to invite you to try something slightly different and see how it might change the way you do your bookkeeping. The last reason that I want to address for folks that are not taking the time to do their books now, or haven't yet sat down to figure it out, or done a training on QuickBooks Online, is perfectionism. Oh, that's that P word that everybody thinks they identify with. But how can they identify with perfectionism if they're not perfect? Well, that's the kind of paradox of perfectionism, is that the people who are afflicted with perfectionism are not perfect. But that is what creates the stress and the fear and the anxiety that holds us back from making good changes in our lives and in our businesses. Going back to reason number 1, where we are afraid of uncovering mistakes or realizing that we might be doing something wrong. Perfectionism means if we can't do it perfectly, it's not worth doing at all. And that's bullshit. Also, perfectionism is a tenet of white supremacy, and nobody wants that. Nobody wants to uphold white supremacy, right? If you do, I'm going to need you to click unsubscribe and get the fuck out of here. Everybody else, stay with me. Perfectionism is bullshit because it says if we can't do something perfect, then it's not worth doing at all. We are not here to be perfect. We are here to do the best that we can. And in running a business, the best that you can do is to run your business aligned with your values and with integrity, and to create something and to provide a service that is unique, that is valuable to other people, to the market, right? You're either helping people out, you're providing a service, you're selling a product that makes their life better or solves some sort of problem for them. And in order to do that, we do have to keep bookkeeping because we all got to file taxes. There is no point to trying to be perfect with the bookkeeping. I don't even try to get my clients' bookkeeping perfect. I do have tax preparers call me and ask questions about my client's bookkeeping, or check in when they're doing the tax return for my client, and they tell me like, yeah, the books look great, blah, blah, blah. And they still go in and make adjusting journal entries for depreciation and interest and all that good stuff. The point is not to get things perfect. It is to get an accurate set of books, or as accurate as we can get them, for your sake, to be able to use the financial data that is in your bookkeeping to make decisions about how you want to run your business, if you want to change anything, how you would like to change things. We all want to make decisions based on information that is correct. We all want to be able to consent to choices that are given to us based on all of the information. You shouldn't be withholding information from people when you're asking for their consent for something. So that's informed consent. When we have a robust set of books that is accurate and that we have done using a simple system, then we look at those numbers and we can decide whether or not we even want to stay in business, whether it's a good idea, and set goals for ourselves if we want to achieve a certain revenue goal. How would we do that? Where are we starting from? All of that information is contained within the bookkeeping. And it is not about being perfect, and it is still worth doing even if there are inaccuracies in your books. Because guess what? If something is inaccurate or something is wrong, we just have to change it. And that takes 2 seconds most of the time. If one piece of information is wrong, then we just change it so that it's correct. Imperfection should not be holding you back. Fear should not be holding you back. Overwhelm should not be holding you back. And all of these reasons that people put off doing their bookkeeping don't want to sit down and take the time to learn how to set up their books and create a system that works for them. All the reasons that people don't do that are addressed inside the Bookkeeping Foundation kit. So if you haven't figured it out already, I've kind of got the answer for you inside the kit, which is what I created for small business owners and self-employed folks to do their books simply, correctly, and consistently. So go to bookkeepingfoundationkit.com if you haven't already. The kit is $77 for immediate lifetime access to the content. And I include a free bonus 30-day trial inside my private virtual community where me and my clients are hanging out, doing our books together, co-working together, answering each other's questions, supporting, lifting each other up. It is a great group of folks that are all vetted and people that have worked with me in some capacity. So you'll get a 30-day free trial to the community when you purchase the kit. Thank you so much for watching this episode. Maybe next time I'll do a QuickBooks Online tutorial. And if you have something that you want to see in QuickBooks Online, drop a comment down below letting me know what kind of business you have and what you're struggling with in QuickBooks Online right now. And I am happy to make a video explaining some process to you for QuickBooks Online. But check out my QuickBooks Online tutorials playlist first, where I already have quick tutorials for you to learn some specific techniques that I use in QuickBooks Online to make sure that things are simple and accurate. Thanks for watching. Hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, turn on the notification bell if you haven't already. Leave me a comment and help me tell the algorithm to push this video to other small business owners. Thank you so much. I hope you have an amazing week. Bye-bye.